Okay, hey everyone, it's Mike Seibert, 1847 Financial. Let's see how many people we've got so far. We're up to 32 and gaining speed. So I did a webinar last Thursday night, and today's presentation, reason why we're doing it today is because Dr. Pfau has a presentation in conjunction with Wealth Building Cornerstones on Monday at our time slot, because I have this set up to do these every month, the first Monday of the month at 12 o'clock. And if you have not signed up yet, I've listened to Dr. Pfau a couple different places. I think it'd be a good time for you guys to listen in and get Dr. Pfau's, some of Dr. Pfau's information regarding what's going on, in our economy, et cetera. So I hope everyone is well. Let me just get this going, and here we go. All right. So let me go to my PowerPoint presentation. And again, not to be a jerk, but I put a lot of time in these things. If you guys, want to do some of the things, or you like some of these slides, just screen, shot them and then paste them someplace, because we have a lot of folks on here, and I just don't want to be passing on all this information to everyone, especially, if you're not WBC licensed, and especially, this obviously, you have to take a look at and put it through your compliance, depending on what company you're with. But most people on here are Penn Mutual. I invited some friends outside of Penn Mutual because I've had some conversations with them regarding Wealth Building Cornerstones. And I think this would be a really good place to start with this case study, because it really comes into play with what's going on in our economy right now. It really comes into play with this big market decline and what's facing retirees right now. And, having a probability-based planning system versus safety-first planning system, it's night and day, folks. And this is going to be, when we get out of this, never back down ever again regarding a person who has all their money in the stock market, or the person who says, hey, my broker or my analyst, he's going to protect me from the downside. And because things like this are going to happen again. This is something where hopefully we'll get through here the next month or so, and we can kind of get back to normal. But your clients' lives aren't going to get back to normal right now. They're thinking that, if they only have investments, then their lives are turned upside down. They may have to work a much longer time than they thought, or if they were retired, they may have to go back to work, and maybe their parking space is gone. So, we want to try and help everyone here. This system does help everyone. I'm going to kind of biz through a couple slides here. Again, my website is destinationretirement.com.
It was an April Fool's joke from Pete.
Oh yeah, okay.
State stores.
All right. Well, I'll look at that here. I got to figure out how to do that. But anyways, the website is destinationretirement.com. A lot of good information there. And again, you can have your clients go to this site if you want, but there's a lot of good information there. And at the bottom, there's a bunch of links for you guys to look at, articles, different websites. Just go visit and check it out. So what we're going to go through today is probability-based case study versus safety-first planning. What happens when there's a big market drop? And I'll get down to the what my whole presentation was about at the bottom here. I like this slide a lot. This is Dr. Pfau's slide, where it on the side here it says relative importance for annual returns. So if you retire right here in the 30th year, this is a 35-year-old and retiring at 65. The rates of return aren't really that important in the beginning, but they become more important the closer we get to retirement. And then the first day that you retire, the rate of return is the most important annual return you're ever going to have as a retiree. And as you get further on into retirement, the degree of importance does go down. But if you take a look at the first block of years here, it's really, really important not to mess up or not to have a downturn in your lifetime sequence of return risk. Again, Vanguard, Monte Carlo, financial catch 22 that people are in. This is a new, if you haven't been on Wealth Building Cornerstones in a while, this is a new PowerPoint or new slides that they have as a presentation. And you're basically telling clients, before 1980, all it was safety first. It was just pension plans, and your company socked away money for you. And when you retired, 30 years later with the same company, you got a gold watch, a monthly check from the company, and Social Security, and you lived happily ever after. Then when Ted Bennett invented the 401k, all crap broke loose, and we went from probability-based to safety first, and the 401k really dismantled pension plans. I have some background noise, so please, anyone, if you're on a phone, please mute yourself. Actually, I'm going to mute everyone now. Sorry about this. I'm going to mute all. Okay, and if you want to answer a question or ask a question, you can unmute yourself. So again, this is the two economic powers balance. So, you know, the things are synonymous that I'm talking about. Probability-based is one economic power. That's from you know, 1980 until today. The pendulum swinging back, and it's going to swing back even harder and faster now to safety first, where, you know, a person always, you know, you always have to ask a couple questions before you start talking about pension plans or single premium immediate annuities, which are basically personal, quote unquote, pension plans. You know, you just can't come up to a client, go, hey, you know what, give me $1 million of your 401k. I'll give you roughly 70 grand a year right now if you're a 65-year-old. And if you die tomorrow, all that money's gone. You're never going to make the sale that way. You need to make the sale before the sale once or possibly twice. So the first question you need to ask them is, hey, how much of this money you want guaranteed when you retire? What's your plan? And what's your plan that you have in place the day you retire, not to outlive your money? And most people don't understand what that means, because we've been in this probability-based world since 1980 until today. You know, this is a big wake-up call for a lot of people because of what's happening to their 401ks and where they're at right now. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to balance out this teeter-totter. We're trying to have an efficient balance between these two economic powers, the accumulation power and the distribution power. No one really focuses on the distribution power at all, because they think life insurance and you know, whole life insurance is bad, etc. But what we need to do is we're lucky as WBC or Wealth Building Cornerstones licensees. We really have been trained at a higher level in both industries to understand how they work together. I said this once, I've said this a million times. If you get an investment-only person in the room, they're going to have their opinions on how retirement works, and obviously they're going to sell products that they're licensed to sell that help feed their families. On the flip side is the insurance industry and an insurance salesman. If that's all they sell, well, obviously that's how they feed their family, and they're going to start talking about the insurance products. If we got these two people in a room, they would fight like cats and dogs about, you know, what industry is better. But the trick is these are the two economic powers: accumulation power, investment industry; distribution power, insurance industry. The way we can help our clients switch back to a safety first, higher income stream, retirement with a better sleep at night is to balance out these two industries. Instead of having them fight against one another, let's bring them together. That's how it works. So if we take a look at the accumulation power, if we have too much of it, the teeter-totter gets out of balance, and we have an inefficient balance and a lower income stream. If we have too much on the distribution power, on the insurance industry side, again, that's out of whack, and our client's income stream is going to suffer. What we're trying to do is get a one-to-one balance of death benefit to asset value. Death benefit is important, not cash value. Say it again. Death benefit is important, not cash value. And that's what gets lost in translation between our clients and other advisors. So it's real important to understand, you know, that balance, and you'll see the case study today. So when a person has one economic power, they may have a lifestyle shortage where they thought they would have enough, but then they're stuck in this financial catch-22 that if they have $1 million, well, they are a millionaire on paper, but their income stream they should only receive from that is about 30 grand. That's it. So that's almost poverty level. So they're a millionaire on paper, but for income purposes, they're at poverty level. And it's kind of, that's a weird situation. So there may be a lifestyle shortage. So what we're trying to do is have a surplus or jump the lifestyle up using the same amount of savings. So if I can increase your retirement income from here to here using the same amount of savings, would you like to see how that works? So here was the case study, and I'm going to take a step back and go over this retirement income tool option calculator that's on WBC website. I enhanced it a little bit, but that's okay. screenshot this one, and then go back into Wealth Building Cornerstones, find the Excel spreadsheet in the retirement area, and you can start filling in these numbers yourself. So two things, we're gonna explain this to you real quick, and then I want you to Google, and if you have been to my class, yeah, you have this article already. It's called The Utility of Illiquidity. It was written by an economist, it was written by an actuary, Garth Bernard. Google it, print it out, read it, because that article coincides with this Excel spreadsheet that's part of your Wealth Building Cornerstones software. So, retirement income tools, assets dedicated to generate $100,000 of income, and that's what we're measuring here, folks. We're measuring how much income a couple could get at age 65. So let's use this as an example. I have people say, well, Wealth Building Cornerstones doesn't work for a 65-year-old. I said, sure it does. Okay, because I'm going to give a client option A, B, C, or D. All right, when they come into my office regarding how to generate $100,000 a year of retirement income for as long as they both live. So this is for husband and wife. So I have a wealth management team at my office. I don't do the stocks and the bonds and the managed money anymore. I don't want to do that. I pass them on to my team. They do that for me, and it's been working out wonderfully for me, because that's something that I never really wanted to do in regards to the additional time that would take out of my practice to what I'm really good at, which is Wealth Building Cornerstones and measuring income streams. So I do have that team process. So if this 65-year-old couple comes into my office, first time, I just meet them and we start talking about retirement income streams, I'll go, well, I actually have choice A, B, C, or D for you to choose from in regards to how you're going to get your retirement income stream. So I can invite in my wealth management team into my office right now. And this couple has $3.3 million of assets. So if they have $3.3 million of assets, they're going to have to take every single penny of that portfolio, and they're going to have to transfer it to my wealth management team. My wealth management team is going to go, okay, we're going to send you $8,333 a month, or $100,000 a year, and it's not guaranteed. So here's the guaranteed column. It's not guaranteed because we need to follow the safe withdrawal rate. I don't know what the safe withdrawal rate is going to be in the future here, but right now, we were using last year's, it's 2.97. So they're going to have to use all of that money to generate $100,000. 10, 15, 20 years down the road, I have no idea, and nobody does know what this account value is going to be. Is it going to be higher or lower? Well, if you go back to that one screen I just went over before with you regarding, Dr. Fow's, what's most important? Well, it's years 1, years 2, years 3, years 4, etc. So now if the market's going down, you may run out of money. If the market's going up early in retirement, you're probably going to have a windfall. We just don't know. But real important, clients need to digest here the difference between truly liquid money and technically liquid money. This $3.3 million, it's technically liquid. They can't touch it. They need all of it to generate an income stream, and it's not guaranteed. So I'll go, well, how about we do this? How about we go over and we'll start talking about balancing out these powers, not even using life insurance, okay? Using a variable or index annuity with a joint income rider. I don't know what the payouts are, but let's just assume they're 4.5% for both lives. So now we're getting into the conversation of, well, you need less money because of actuarial science, because of the law of large numbers and how insurance companies work. Rule 101 in the insurance industry, there are no deals in the insurance industry, but we can create deals in the insurance industry. Well, this is how we're going to create one. And of the 3.3 million, we're going to take $2.2 million and we're going to send it over to one of these annuities. That insurance company is going to guarantee $100,000 a year of income for both lives. If the husband passes away, my wife is vacuuming upstairs, so I'm in my bunker, my basement bunker, just to let you know if you hear any background noise. But we need $2.2 million of money going to one of these annuities to generate guaranteed $100,000 a year of retirement income for 2 lives. That money right there, the $2.2 million, is technically liquid. All right, they need it to generate the full $100,000 for 2 lives. Truly liquid money is the 1.1 that they can do anything they want with. So anything they want with right now is that $1.1 million. What can they do with it? put it back in the investment industry. Buy a shore house. Do something else with that $1.1 million. But that $1.1 million is truly liquid money. So that is now bringing the investment and the insurance industry together, and not even bringing up the conversation of whole life insurance, okay, or permanent life insurance. Well, that's choice B. Choice C, a joint SPIA, because if the husband and wife live their life expectancy, doesn't matter if it's a variable or an index annuity, more than likely, if they pass away early, there's going to be some balance here of the 2.2. If they live to life expectancy or a little bit beyond, more than likely, this account's going to be gone anyways. But if they want to have that warm and fuzzy feeling of having access to the 2.2 million, again, technical access to the money, well, then we can talk about the variable or the FIA with the joint income rider. However, if we go up to a joint SPIA, now we're giving away the money right away. All right. And what we're doing is we're taking that 3.3 and moving about half of it to a joint SPIA. Well, if the money's gone anyways at life expectancy, why don't we just use less money and get rid of 1.6 million today for the husband and wife? You know, that $1.6 million is going to generate $100,000 a year for both lives anyways. So now we have $1.7 million that's truly liquid we could do something with. We'll skip volatility buffer now. We'll get that a different call. But the highest and most efficient income stream, again, just based on the different choices, A, B, C, or D, is a single life SPIA. So of the 3.3, why don't we, Mr. Client, why don't we give an insurance company 1.4? And they're going to give you, Mr. Client, $100,000 a year for the rest of your life. That may be an option for you, but if you die tomorrow, your wife's only going to get 1.9. Well, that's probably not a good idea. What we can do is we can take some of that 1.9, and couldn't we buy life insurance then? Let it be whole life or GUL or some type of FIAUL, doesn't matter, some type of permanent insurance worth the net of 1.4. So let's just say it's all pre-tax. We only need about $1 million or $1.1 million of tax-free death benefit, because if he dies, yes, this 1.4 is gone, but then the spouse gets the 1.9 plus, or whatever left in there, plus the life insurance. So again, this is the utility of illiquidity. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understand that we're not just recommending whole life insurance off the bat. It may not work for that 65-year-old just because the numbers may not work, all right? So this is a slide from my webinar that we're gonna go over this case study. So big market decline. So big market decline, $1 million goes to 750, or $1 million goes to 700,000 in about 3 to 4 weeks. Well, what are people going to do? Well, I'm going to go over the case study in depth with you, but this is kind of just like the summary of it, where we're trying to get the clients back to what we are designed to do for our clients, or we're trying to do for our clients, is create a retirement income stream. We're measuring income streams. I'm not going to measure $1 million because it's worth 700 now. I'm measuring what the income streams we can get on one economic power or probability based versus two economic powers or safety first base. So let's get into the math, and let me bring this up. Okay, so here is the advanced class big market decline on April Fool's Day, and this is something that we need to have our clients understand more than ever right now. So I am adamant on not ever backing down to anyone in the investment industry, and neither should anyone on this phone call. What we need to do is, now we have, unfortunately, proof of what's going on with people who are retiring in 2020. So I did 4 case studies here, and I'll also go to the life insurance policies and how I did these. So first scenario here, advanced case big market declines. This is February, all right? They were on track with one economic power. They are on track to get 120 grand a year. So that's what I'm trying to measure right here, is the 120 grand a year. And let me just get up a pen here. Spotlight. Okay. So 120 grand a year is what we're looking at before the market decline. March 1st, their account went down. So again, what we're measuring here is income stream. So when the market just declined in a month, they went from $120,000 a year retirement income down to 98 grand. So a substantial drop in annual retirement income. They're thinking they're getting 10 grand a month, and now they're getting 8 grand a month. And again, none of it's guaranteed. When economic power, probability-based, flip a coin, are you going to run out of money or not? So these other scenarios are the big market decline after the account value went from $1 million down. We're going to show you what the income streams are versus current right here with our two economic powers or safety first, current dividend scale, midpoint dividend scale. That means our dividends are cut in half for the rest of this client's life. All right. And this one right here, absolutely no dividends from forever in the life insurance policy. And if we can do this and get the 121,307 and get them back to what they were on track for using one economic power or probability based, well, now a client's going to start listening a little bit more. All right. So let's start off with how the person was on track before we met them. Now, this is here's the case study. It's a 50-year-old. Sorry about that. It's a 50-year-old to age 65. And this could be 40-year-old, it could be 60-year-old. I'm just using a 15-year window here where a client goes, hey, Mike, I got $1 million. All right. I'm adding $26,000 to my 401k with a 50-cent match, the 13 grand. I'm on track. If I earn 6%, I'm on track to get $3.3 million of money in my 401k. And and based on the safe withdrawal rate, again, they have to use all that 3.3 million of technically liquid money to generate 100 grand a year. And let's just assume here the person had their last kid out of college, or they're saving $25,000 a year into the stock market, and now they're just starting to invest that now, and that account grows to 616,000. So basically, they got $4 million. $4 million, and I would circle this $4 million of technically liquid money. You can't touch it because that's the engine to generate the $120,000 of retirement income right there. All right. And all you're going to do is you're going to every quarter where you either get your statement online or you get your statement mailed to you, you're going to look inside and you're going to wonder what your account balance is. And you're going to wonder, all right, I remember these first 5 years are real important. It's the most important time to make sure that you don't lose money. But again, this pile of money, roughly $4 million, is what your wife is going to then receive if you pass away, Mr. Client, and then what your inheritance is going to be for the kids. And again, a total unknown. So 120 grand. And the rest of the scenario here, I just wanted to run them, this is without these two economic power strategies. So, we can go over how we do that. And this is an advanced class. So, this was April 1st I'm supposed to be in Scottsdale right now teaching a class. But this will be an advanced case that we'll be doing, I think, in our Philadelphia class. Hopefully, I think that's in July or August, so check on the website. But we'll be doing an advanced class in Philly, and this is just one of the cases we'll go through because this is pretty important right now. So 120 grand a year, that's it. So let me show you the illustrations that I'm using right now. So now this illustration that I'm using with the life insurance is going to take the client's income, which went from $1 million down to 700 grand. So their accounts just dropped because of what happened in the market. They're still adding $26,000 and $13,000 into the account per year, their 401k. And instead of having that $3.3 million, now they're at $2.6 million. So what we're measuring here isn't, how big the 401k is. We're measuring, hey, based on that big market drop and still adding the $26,000 and $13,000 per year for 15 years, still adding the $25,000 into a brokerage account, earning a net 6%, still getting that same 616. Our account value went from $4 million or $120,000 of retirement income to about $3.3 million and only $98,000 of retirement income. That's the most important thing a person needs to see, is that 98 grand is what they're on track for now using probability-based or one economic power. So this first $25,000 illustration, I'm going to go to right now and show you how I got these numbers. The next example is midpoint. Well, what if dividends are cut in half? What if these interest rates stay this low? I don't think any insurance company is going to be able to keep their dividends where they're at. So let's just use a midpoint, or dividends are 50% of originally, of the current dividend scale. Then the last illustration I'm going to show you is no dividends at all. All right, so let's go to the illustration software. So let me just give you a quick on how to design this. So this is whole life to age 100. That's the only type of whole life I use. Scheduled premium is $25,000, and at age 66, or I'm sorry, we're going to put money in for 15 years. At age 66, there's no more deposits. This is a preferred second best rating, so it's not the best rating also. All right, riders, I also have a waiver of premium on this, the enhanced disability waiver, overloan protection rider. All right, and so when we run this calculation, and we're going to use just a few basic numbers to get to transport over to the Wealth Building Cornerstone software. When we go there, and now we have this handy dandy to show you the screen a little bit better, is 25,000 for 15 years, starts at 1.1, goes to 1.4. So the numbers we're going to use obviously is 25. The next number we're going to use the beginning death benefit 1.1. Then we're going to use ending death benefit at age 65 of 1.4. And we're going to use the $439,000 as part of their cash position at retirement to use as a volatility buffer. So let's go back to the illustration. So here it is, 25,000, 1.1 growing to 1.4, 439 in cash value. So now what we're going to do is we're taking that 25,000, should take a step back, I should pause here. Taking that 25,000, instead of putting it in the investment industry, we're going to put it in the insurance industry. So our lifestyle stays the same. Now we're going to try and get you to a higher income stream. And how much of this income stream do you want guaranteed? Well, using these factors, the 25,000 goes from a brokerage account to a whole life insurance contract. So it's the same out-of-pocket outlay. 15 deposits of 25,000, 15 deposits of 25,000. And this is the numbers I pulled from the illustration. And our economic balance here of the two economic powers is pretty close, 0.71 to 1. So that means I can take this $2.6 million and take 71% of it and use all of it in a safety first planning system. All right. The other 29%, it's probability based or just safe withdrawal rate. So that's it. So going here, and then, just taking of the 2.6, 71% of it, that number right here, 0.71, 71% of the 401k goes to a SPIA, produces 154 grand a year. 765 is safe withdrawal rate, produces 23,000. And that's at today's SPIA rates. So again, we can lower this number down. You can take $1.8 million and multiply it by 6%. We're still going to be way better than 120 grand. All right. Or 98 grand in this example because of the big market drop. But we're at 177 grand. If it's 150 or 140 because SPIA rates are less, it's still way better than 98 grand, and we have guarantees. So if this person passes away, the $1.8 million is gone, and the $1.4 million replaces the money you traded away in that personal pension plan. So again, insurance 101, there are no deals in the insurance industry. So if you're going to pay attention to anything, pay attention to this. I found this finally. I found what I say now over the next couple minutes here, clients really understand without even having to use a white pad or a yellow pad or a brochure or anything like that. So there are no deals in the insurance industry if you buy one product because you just don't know what's going to happen to you. So ask your client this: if you buy life insurance, Mr. Client, and you give a small deposit in the first month and die, what's your wife going to get? A huge death benefit of some sort, right? So did the insurance company win or lose, right? And they're going to say, a dollar will get you two. They're going to say the insurance company lost. I go, no, they didn't. They knew it was going to happen. The people that live past life expectancy pay for the people that do die earlier, and all the insurance company wants to do is figure out how much to charge every single person in that large pool of people so they can pay out the death claim and make money for themselves. They kind of get that, all right? And I go, and on the flip side, this annuity, this SPIA, single premium immediate annuity, is your own personal pension plan. You told me, Mr. Client, that you wanted a big portion of your income guaranteed. A big portion of your retirement income is guaranteed. You can also ask them, hey, would you rather have a 401k plan at work or a pension plan? And, you know, if explained properly, they're going to say pension plan to you. I go, well, you can have one, but you can create one the day you retire. You can take your 401k plan, defined contribution plan, in the accumulation phase, and the day that you retire, as long as you're healthy enough, again, I'm underwriting my clients for SPIAs. I don't care. They are not going to put money into a SPIA if they're not going to live at least 13, 14 years based on, you know, based on an exam that they get, because I'm underwriting them for SPIAs. Anyways, the exact opposite of life insurance is a SPIA. You give me $1 million, Mr. Client, and I'm going to give you, you know, year one, 154 grand. You die the next day, what happens is 1.8 million. It's all gone. Did the insurance company win or lose? They're going to, oh, the insurance company won. I go, they didn't win, because they have to keep paying that $154,000 to all the other people, especially the people with past life expectancy. So the people that die early pay for the people that live longer past life expectancy. That's why you cannot create a deal in the insurance industry buying one product, because if you buy one product, you have to be lucky. Well, not lucky that you died, but your wife will get a windfall, and not lucky with the SPIA if you live a long time, because you just don't know. But this is how we create a deal in the insurance industry, buying these two mirror image products. It's really important for a client to understand, and this is hopefully where the pendulum's swinging back to safety first from probability based. So that's the 177 grand. Easy, you know, to show. But now let's start talking about, well, what happens if the dividends don't perform based on current dividend scales? All right, so I'll show you that illustration, and I'll just get back down to the same part. So let me go up here and go to big market declines. All right, let's get the second one, midpoint. So I'm going to calculate this, and I'm going to show you how we go about doing this. So again, we're cutting the dividends in half. So what pops up first is current dividend scale. That was the same illustration as before. The next part is what we're looking at and getting the numbers off of is a supplemental ledger, the alternate dividend scale. So going back into, I should have went here first, going into policy case design and going into how this policy gets designed is, again, 50-year-old male, preferred non-tobacco. And down here, we're going to go right here to alternate dividend assumptions. So we're going to go to midpoint. And the same riders are available, the same waiver premium, et cetera. And we're going to calculate that and give it a few seconds here. So now our death benefit is decreased at age 66 because up top, go in the, I won't have time to do that. Go back in case designs. Well, I'll do it. It's real important. My bad. So under policy design, click illustrate reduce paid up at age 66. That's real important because now we're only putting money in for 15 years. If I don't do that because of this alternate dividend scale and we only put 15 deposits in at the midpoint, and you want to keep the death benefit at that high mark, then they're going to have some premiums due 10, 15 years down the road to keep that going if dividends are cut in half. So let's go back to that. That was real important. Illustrate, reduce, paid up, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the with no dividends at all. So current dividend scale, we're not using that. We're going to alternate dividend scale, where the dividends are cut in half. 25,000 for 15 years, waiver of premium. Death benefit starts at 1.1, goes up to 1.2. But since these dividends are now cut in half, well, let's just, instead of having a premium outlay here, let's just reduce the death benefit down, and you're going to see the death benefit continue to grow. But I'm going to use 25,000, 1.1, death benefit of 736, and cash value of 363 back in this pre-retiree scenario. So again, instead of putting $25,000 in the investment industry, we put it into a whole life insurance policy that performs way below standards. The dividend is cut in half. There's the 25, there's the 1.1, there's the 736 and the 363. And you can see what happened to our economic powers here, 0.37 to 1. That means I can only use 37% of that $2.6 million efficiently, which means less to the SPIA, more to safe withdrawal rate. But again, we're at $130,000 a year of retirement income versus the $98,000 a year. The last one I'm going to show you, and then I'll open up for questions, is if there's no dividends after a big market decline. Penn Mutual or any other insurance company never pays a dividend ever again. It's all based on the guarantees. So let's go to big market decline illustration. Let me get that back to where we need it and go back to no dividend. So let's see, let me show you again how I designed this in the illustration software. So same thing, illustrate reduced paid up, age 66. That means the last premium goes in, we're only gonna do $25,000 of premium for 15 years. And again, right here, you're gonna do age 66 for premium offset, that stands for age 66. And then here on the drop down, you're gonna go to no dividend illustrate, no dividends at all. And we're gonna run the illustration. And so what's gonna happen here is there's gonna be 0 dividends in the dividend column forever, and you're gonna have $1.1 million of death benefit up until age 65. So again, it's gonna run you right here to the current dividend scale scenario. We're not using that one, we're using this one. Kind of like the worst case scenario, don't you think? So alternate dividend scale, no dividends at all, $25,000 with waiver of premium up until age 65. Right here, as you can see, your premium drops because the waiver premium comes off. $1.1 million flat, and then we take reduced paid up. So reduced paid up is $597 flat, and this is the guaranteed cash value, $292. And right about here is where our premium, our cumulative premium outlay equals our guaranteed cash value at age 74. So I'm taking the 25,000, the 1.1, the 597, and the 292 as the numbers I'm putting into the pre-retiree calculator. And so this is the no dividend. So here it is. Instead of putting 25,000 into the investment industry, doing a net 6% rate of return after fees and taxes, we are buying a whole life insurance policy with no dividends. And then going from $1.1 million today to 597, and our ratio is 0.3 to 1. Not much less than the other midpoint scenario, but that means I can take, of the 2.6 million, I can use 30% of it efficiently, and 70% live off interest, safe withdrawal rate. So here it is, 796 gets traded away to a SPIA, 65 grand, 1.8 live off interest, there's the 121. So when we go back to this scenario and we go into the summary report, these were all the numbers, and you have to ask a client, okay, the 120 number was the number that you had before the big market drop. Now, because of the big market drop, you're at 98 grand. Based on your, us going through a budget as a retiree, is that enough plus Social Security? Is that 98 grand plus Social Security enough? If not, then here are your options. Invest more money, work longer, take more risk, have a part-time job, or based on current dividend scales, I can get you 177. So I would show this to a client. I'd even show maybe an alternate dividend scale that's much less than the current dividend scale, maybe not cut in half. But I want to show you that having no dividend at all, the 121 right here, it equals what the person has. Again, 65,000 is guaranteed. It equals what the person had with one economic power after the big market drop. So that's kind of like the information I wanted to give you guys. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. And so this is a determine your retirement goals. This is also in Wealth Building Cornerstones. Create it yourself. Use your own logo. I use obviously the 1847. But when a client goes to me and we figure out, all right, what annual income do you want at retirement? Let's go through that. That's real important. Let's figure out what you need in retirement. Let's figure out if you could retire at 65. And if you can go 30 years in the future and look at yourself as a 95-year-old, what would you want to have happen to have a happy retirement those last 30 years of your life? And you know, do you want to have, you know, guaranteed income streams? Do you want to sleep well? Do you want to go on vacation? Do you want to spend time with your grandkids? All those things. Bring them into the present. All right, what's going on in your life right now? What are some of your concerns? What are some of the things that you tried? And then let's talk about, let's get you on a different path. Let's just, real simple. Let's go from probability-based to safety first. And by doing that, we can now add guaranteed words based on how much your assets, your death benefit to your assets are, what that ratio is. We can add guarantees into your life. We can add liquidity into your life with the cash value of the life insurance. You know, there's a few things that you can use as a volatility buffer. When the market's down, clients shouldn't be taking money from their brokerage accounts right now. They should be using the cash value of life insurance. They should be, you know, maybe doing a HECM, a home equity conversion mortgage, which is talked about big time in the RACP. All right. Possibly if they're 62 or 65 and they want to keep on delaying Social Security until age 70. Well, why? Your accounts just got hammered. Maybe you want to take a look at taking Social Security a little bit earlier than you wanted to, just to lower the amount of money that you're pulling out, lower the distribution rate that's coming out of your investment portfolio. Because if you start at $1 million and you're taking out 30 grand a year and it goes down to $700,000, okay, you should be only taking out 21 grand. All right, safe withdrawal rate. So Social Security can help do that. This is retirement income. This is safety first. Back in the day, where a person got their retirement income from was pension, Social Security, and then a little bit of their income came from their nest egg. Everything's flipped upside down now with probability-based. Majority of a person's retirement income is coming from their nest egg, and then Social Security, and probably nothing if they don't have a pension plan. So let's finish these slides here. So what I'm doing differently right now is I am contacting, when I'm not doing this or hanging out and with my family, I am contacting my clients going, hey, I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. I'm checking in to see about, you know, if you have any questions regarding what's happening with the economy and what's happening with your investments. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up before 4 o'clock, I'm setting up, they're called virtual coffee meetings. After 4 o'clock, if a client wants, I'm going to set up virtual cocktail meetings. So I want to have a client have a conversation with me. I want to stay in front of them. I want them to understand that I'm here for them. Again, the webinar I did, if you want it, email me or go in the chat box and say you want to have, I'll send you the link for the YouTube link that for the webinar I did last Thursday night. I put this ad in our local paper because I think anything right now that you need to be in front of the pack. You need to be ahead of the curve regarding this stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to get business from that. I'm putting ads in again this week saying, you know, for a free safety first planning book and to set up a meeting with me, listen to my webinar, etc. So that's what I'm doing right now regarding marketing. That's what I'm doing, you know, with Dr. Pfau. If you haven't ordered these safety first retirement planning books, they're on Amazon, or I think they're also on Wealth Building Cornerstone's website. You can order from there. I think you get a discount if you order in bulk. So that's the webinar, folks. I'm going to see if there's any questions. And there are two. Thanks for doing this. Okay, that's great. And okay, so cool. So there are no questions, but if you have any questions regarding my presentation, again, this is recorded, so go back and listen to it again. Screenshot the stuff that you think is important that you can add to your presentations with your client. Stay in front of your clients. All is not lost. All they need to do is go from probability-based to safety first, and we can get the retirement back on track. So everyone stay safe, be well. If you have any questions, email me back, call me. My information's right here. Check out my website, etc. Everyone have a great day, and we'll talk to you next week. And again, sign up for Dr. Pfau's class through WBC website, Monday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everyone.